Hi everyone, Jan here. I'm chilling in Bali, having a great time, and it's Friday afternoon. And I thought I wanted to share something that's I've become really conscious of recently, which is that I think that information, in many ways, is a new form of pollution for us. And what I mean by that is that, in exactly the same way that the quality of the food that you take in affects the ability of your body to produce good quality nutrients for yourself and to produce good quality cells and things like that. So I think it's in a similar way that the information that we consume affects our ability to think and even perhaps our own levels of consciousness. So, to use the analogy, if you eat McDonald's every day, and there's nothing wrong with eating McDonald's, I love McDonald's, but if you have to eat it every day, there's a questionable quality of input there. It's likely that you're going to become a little bit unhealthy. And so in the same way, if you are constantly putting low quality information into your being, into your consciousness, it's going to affect you too. So what does this mean? It means that I think, it's not about becoming a Puritan and saying get rid of, an easy target, for example, might be like celebrity tabloids and things like that. But it's not really about that. I think it's just being mindful that what you put in is a very large influence on what you will put out, so to say. And so as a consequence, be conscious of that. What kind of information are you consuming, and how might that affect the way that you're thinking and behaving? So, for example, living in Southeast Asia now, I'm very conscious of how, particularly in the British press, there's this compulsive need to generate anxiety and fear and emotional terror, essentially, in people. And for what reason? Exactly how does the Iranian nuclear deal affect you? Recently there was a Russian submarine that caught. Why do I need to know that? Why is that going to bring drama into my life? Now, of course, I can choose to read about those things, or one might argue it's important to be worldly and know these things, and that no doubt that there's truth in that. However, how much truth is in that? Am I really going to burden my soul with worrying about whether Iran gets a nuclear weapon or not? And this doesn't affect me. It just really doesn't. And I can liberate myself from worrying about those things by not even engaging in the first place, by choosing not to consume the news around that particular topic. And so by curating information in the right way, I think I'm able to provide a cleaner consciousness, essentially, a more tuned space in which I'm not bringing in low quality information that disrupts my way of thinking, my way of being. Now, it's also worth pointing out that a danger in this approach is that you just reinforce your own beliefs, that you don't challenge the way in which you think, right? So you simply seek out information that will verify what you already know. And again, you can do that. But then all you're doing is just simply trying to confirm that the world is the way in which you believe it to be. But the world is much greater than who we are. And inevitably we will be challenged in our beliefs, and eventually those beliefs will be shattered, and that will be a very painful experience. And going through that, and having gone through that myself, and I'm sure many of you have too, we learn from that experience that it's better not to reinforce our expectations and beliefs about reality too much. It's more useful to stay humble and cognizant of the fact that it is a very big world and we are very small players within it. And as a result, acknowledge the role that diverse sources of information can play. Because by, for example, listening to different kinds of people, we are able to tune into different perspectives in reality and appreciate that in so many ways, truth is a circle. And what that means is if you just have a monolithic view of truth, it means you only believe in one thing. You only believe, for example, I believe in a certain kind of religion, and that religion is true, and that is it, and that's just the end, right? That is possible. You can choose that path. But it's very simplistic, because clearly different people on this planet have different beliefs. And what we are then confronted with is a choice. Do we say that those people are wrong and that we are right and that's it? Do we engage in dialogue? And certainly the advantage of dialogue, it's a lot less destructive and actually allows the possibility of building a more constructive relationship with the world. Specifically, what that means is by understanding that truth is a circle, you can understand that on the one half is your perspective, on the other half, half circle, is someone else's perspective, half of the circle, right? And a higher conscious mind is able to synthesize those two opposing paradoxes into one unified worldview. And so, for example, that is where maybe, using a simplistic example, a Christian might appreciate a Muslim's perspective and a Muslim might appreciate a Christian's perspective, and understand that it's not necessary to say ultimately that one is right or wrong, that need for absolute certainty is an illusion in itself, and that we're all on the journey to try and understand truth. All paths lead to the top of the mountain. We just take different paths, and to respect each other and honor each other in that journey. So that takes us back full circle, which is What are the truths that you are choosing to import into your reality? And understand that it is a choice. You do choose to do that. You don't have to read the news every day. You don't have to put all that shit into your head. Or be aware that if you put all that shit into your head, it's going to very likely destabilize your thinking, cause large amounts of anxiety, and reduce your ability to actually tune your reality and live the life that you want to lead. Hence the idea that information is the new pollution. If you want to practice this, just walk down the street or travel, through an urban area, and just have a look at all the billboards. Have a look at all the adverts and just think about how much information is being blasted into your brain every second. Buy this, look at this, look how beautiful these people are, look how chic this designer handbag is, and whatever. And I'm not criticizing any of that. They are chic, they are beautiful. However, is it necessary for them to be in my reality? Maybe not. Maybe I'd like to prefer to have other things in my reality. So it's not about creating conflict in the sense of saying this is right and wrong. It's more about just being in tune with yourself and what's right for you, and therefore focusing on building a better inner world for yourself. And as a result of that inner peace achieved through curated information for your reality, I think we are able to achieve a more graceful presence in the world, and as a consequence of that, spread more joy around the world. So those are some thoughts for a Friday afternoon. I hope you have an excellent weekend. Goodbye.